I knew the mic wasn't right. I don't even know if y'all can hear before, but welcome back to Unbe Streaming on this good old fine what fucking day is it? Monday. Okay, Monday. That's good on Monday. The week done started. Even though the kids are off of school, it's still the summer. Your favorite uncle is about to take y'all to a little summer school course today. A summer school course to clear up some things. If it don't apply, let it fly. And if it do apply, don't feel bad about it because it's way more coming than you think. Well, let me turn the mic up. The mic was low. Sorry about that. But yeah, if it apply, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it apply, don't take it personally. All right. But I'm gonna take y'all to school today from something that to you might seem very common, but unfortunately is constantly confused and messed up over and over again. Because out here on these YouTube streets, especially amongst our people, it's a lot of discussions about race and people calling people tethers and people talking about their ancestry and just all kinds of things. And as these conversations, as I'm listening to these people converse about this, the same person, one person, now each person is saying things out of context, but one person in his different statements throughout the conversation could constantly mix up these three things. See, people be constantly mixing up the difference between race, nationality, and ethnicity. Race, nationality, and ethnicity, they constantly mixing it up throughout the whole conversation. That's problematic in several ways. First of all, you just presenting misinformation. You're giving misinformation. You misrepresenting people, races, culture, whatever you talking about at the time. You're making yourself sound uneducated. You're devaluing your own point by mixing up these things while you're talking. And more importantly, it just annoys the fuck out of me. And the reason it annoys me is because all of this stuff is easily researchable. We all have what at one point would have been considered a supercomputer. At one point, this thing right here was considered a supercomputer in our damn pocket. Yet, we constantly talking about what we don't know. Or we're constantly saying things 100% wrong. And sounding stupid. And I don't like to see my brothers and sisters get on these public platforms and be so loud and wrong about something so simple. Because when you do have a good point and you're making sense about some shit that matters, it's gonna be hard to take you serious when you're so wrong in certain concepts. So we're gonna break down the difference between race, nationality, ethnicity, define what each one is, maybe talk about the differences, and we're gonna get into with what are the races, because it's a lot of confusion. Because of the confusion of nationality, ethnicity, and race, people first of all think it's way more racist than what it is when they be talking about these things. Like, before we get started though, like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. It doesn't cost you a penny, a nickel, or a dime, and it's 100% free. It helps the channel the most. You know, we out here after this educational lesson, which I hope will be fun and entertaining. We might get into some more less technical type stuff. But today we are having a little summer school right now, summer courses, little college course, a little sociology course on race and ethnicity and nationality. And also we're gonna get into some other things. But before you do that, again, like, subscribe, comment, and please share. And also shout out to the replay gang, the people that come out through and watch the video throughout the week. It's greatly appreciated. While you're doing that, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It doesn't cost you a penny, a nickel, or a dime. But if you do want to support the channel, the cash that's right there, Unc be streaming. Everything I pay for to do this, what I do, goes up periodically. It's getting ridiculous. So any support would be greatly appreciated. Again, I don't need no help paying the bills, mortgage, car note, taking care of my family, food. All that is covered. But this YouTube stuff is an extra thing. And then, you know, any support would be greatly appreciated, because that appreciation and support helps. It just motivates you to do more, do better, do it longer, things like that. But regardless, I'm still gonna do this until I get tired of doing it, until it ain't fun no more. But however, support from my peoples would greatly lengthen the time that I can do it. And just, everybody likes feeling appreciated for the things they put their energy into. But shout out to the replay gang. But the thing you can do really to help me the most, if you don't want to support, is like, subscribe, comment, and please share. So lean into it, people. Lean into it. What's up, Zyrex? How you doing? So, before we get into breaking down the difference between race, nationality, ethnicity, I want to break down something that's just as bad, because when I started researching for this, it reminded me of how much that bothers me. When people be like, and I'm not making this up, again, if it don't apply, let it fly. But this is what we see. We see people constantly saying, this is another one that, before we get into the main topic, I'm Catholic, not Christian. Oh, hell no. Yes. People be like, I'm Catholic, not Christian, and be dead serious, and be representing the heck out of their religion. I lived in El Paso for 6.5 years. It's a border town. A lot of Hispanics there. A lot of people. Yeah. Hispanic is, I think it's ethnicity. So, but we'll get into all that. There's a lot of Hispanics there because they weren't Mexicans because a lot of them was born in America. But we're gonna get into that later. Facts, Iraqs. That's big facts. So, yeah, a lot of them used to be like, I'm Hispanic. I mean, I'm Catholic, not Christian. And I can't count how many times I had back and forth with people. And it's crazy that it got to be a back and forth. You feel me? I just tap out after a while because I say, oh, this person, I ain't getting it. Because I'd be like, so you Catholic, right? Mm-hmm. Do y'all believe in Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ died on... Yeah, it was Jesus. So y'all Christians. No, I'm not Christian. I'm Catholic. No. Christianity is like an umbrella term per se under the Christianity, under several religions. They got branches of Christianity. You got Catholicism, you got the Baptist, you got the Protestant, you got the Methodist, all that kind of stuff. And this person, no, I'm not Christian. I'm Catholic. I didn't know what to do after that. But that's very, very common. Very, very common, right? Another thing I used to run across in El Paso. American citizens saying that they're Mexican. Where were you born? America? Then you're not Mexican. Oh, hell no! You're simply not. Do you know you down there got to get into a fight if you a believer of truth? You have to fight trying to tell a Hispanic person who people are from Mexico, but they was born in America. You down there have to fight to tell them that they're not a Mexican. No, nigga, I'm a Mexican. I've been a Mexican my whole life. You was born right here in Texas at the hospital with a United States birth certificate and social security card, social security number, everything. Nigga, you American. That's apple pie. You're not a Mexican. You're not a Mexican. You never were one. If you a Mexican, why you need a passport to go to Mexico? Oh my God. But again, it's the constant confusion of it's race, nationality, ethnicity. They use it in conjunction. They mix it up. They use it and mix it up as they wish. They'll switch it up multiple different times in different ways in one conversation just to make their point or create a narrative. I can't count how many times you ask somebody what they mix with, what race they mix with, or what if they look mixed, and or they look like what some people call exotic or whatever, and you ask them like what's their background, what are they mixed with, and they start naming countries and shit. Well, you know, I'm black and Italian and German. Oh, so you're just black and white. You Negroid and Caucasoid. Because once you get the naming German and Italian, all that stuff is nationalities. It's black Italian people. Boris Kojo is a black ass German. He mixed, but he brown as fuck. And he lived his life as a black man. And that motherfucker was born in Germany and he speak German. Like I say, and all this stuff, as basic as it sounds, you would be amazed at the amount of people that mess this up. You act talking to them about race, what race they are. Y'all just having a conversation. It's somebody you know, and they get to naming nationalities. Well, my dad was black, but my mom was German. So your mom was Caucasian? Yeah, she was German. It's just weird. It's just weird. And it makes you look stupid. It makes you look dumb. Now, it's a problem that you can say a lot of this stuff and mix it all up with the vast majority of people, and they won't get it, understand, or catch it, okay? So I guess that's why people do it so much and it's so common, because it's rarely questioned and challenged. But me being the person I am, I take great interest in this and pay attention to it because, like I said before, my secondary is sociology, and we took a lot of race and ethnicity classes, and I read all these doggone books, and I just have a great interest in understanding people and understanding society and the thought process of people as a group and things of that nature. And part of understanding that is understanding the systems we put in place, the way we group together as people, the way we group together by race and nationality, ethnicity and culture and all that kind of things. Because it's good to know about those things, because there are certain behavioral patterns, there are certain behavioral patterns within each one. So if you want to understand people or a person or a group of people, you might have to understand their ethnicity and how they do things separate from that, and how they do things separate as a race, and how certain things they do as a nationality, in the culture and all things that make it all up. So, before we get a little more into it, I got some planned things for you. So look, we're gonna just look up race. We got race, right? I'm prepared for this part. Race, a group identified as distinct from other groups because of perceived physical or genetic traits. And this is the thing about race, right? I was taught that there was only 3 races: Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Caucasoid, which is Caucasian people, Mongoloid, Asian, as in Mongolian, and Negroid. Now, further research saw 2 more races add in. I can't remember, Australoid and something else. We're gonna look into that together because I haven't had a time to research that. But commonly, Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid. Negroid, of course, is black people. Mongoloid is all the Asians, and Caucasoid is all the Caucasians. Because a lot of what people need to understand, Hispanic people fall on the Caucasoid because of their fair skin and their features and their hair texture. As this definition says, race, a group of people identified as distinct from other groups because of perceived physical and genetic traits. It's not a lot of other races that has hair like this. Let me mix it up real quick. Make it see these BDBs when I do that. It's the texture. Also, distinct nose shapes, distinct lip shapes, distinct facial and skull structure shapes. That's where you get to the physical and genetic traits per se. When the Mongoloids separate, their skin color, their eye texture, and by Mongoloids I mean the Asians, their eye shapes. Are all Asian eye shape identical? You know, some people swear they can tell the difference between Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, but maybe you can if you live deeply amongst all of them. But just like a passerby just walking, you can't really tell. Now, when it comes to the Philippines, I can kind of tell them because, you know, they got different features sometimes because, you know, of some, and they got a lot of Spanish last names because of some some conquering conquistador, you know, genetic mixed up kind of shit. MS Best said, please don't let Chat GPT define anything. Actually, I am. Because I don't know what Chat GPT did to you or is to you, but it's just a tool. And I'm intelligent enough to know when it's blowing smoke up my ass because I have a knowledge base to come from. Chat GPT can just confirm things for me because I know them already anyway. It's just that I don't know the verbatim definition, Webster style. You know how you can fully understand the meaning of a word, but it's somebody and you know how they try to get you on here, well, what does it mean? And they try to gotcha moment because you can't give the Webster definition. Zyrex says, I'm Asian, and even I can't really tell. And I think she's referencing the different types of Asians. You know, well, it's several groups, ethnicities, and nationalities that fall under the Mongoloid and fall under technically Asian. And yeah, but when people think Asian, the primary one they think about is, you know, Japanese, Korean, Chinese and stuff, especially if you're not well traveled. So next up we got just some quick stuff. This ain't the full. We got nationality. This is the easiest one. Nationality, the status of belonging to or the status of belonging to a particular nation, typically by birth or naturalization, and recognized under law. So pretty much your nationality is where you're born. So like I say, if you live here and you of Mexican descent, but you were born here, you can't say you're Mexican. Now I know it's a lot of cats in Texas that will put a pistol to hit me with a pistol, okay? They will put a pistol to the side of my head if I tell them they not Mexican. They don't got a Mexican flag tattooed on them. They claim they Mexican every day. They be over here a U.S. citizen living in the UA, going for the Mexican team, the soccer team, which is they right, like whatever team you want. But they do it under a sense of they represent their home, which they really not, because you American is apple pie, buddy. Hate to tell you. And of course, the one that confuses people the most. Ethnicity, a social group defined by a common heritage or cultural background rather than biological traits. So, quick recap. Race, a group of people identified as distinct from other groups because of perceived physical or genetic traits. Nationality, the status of belonging to a particular nation, typical by birth, naturalization, and recognized under law. And ethnicity, a social group defined by a common heritage or cultural background rather than biological traits. Okay, we got it. Basic definition, basic understanding. Race is more biological, genetic, physical traits, differences that you can see and feel. You can feel the coarseness of a black person's hair. You can see the color of their skin. You can see their features. You can see the shape of their face structure. You can feel the touch their hair. Because the honest truth, as a species, regardless of your race, 99.9% of our DNA is going to be the same. Whether you're Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Negroid, whatever. And that's why we're able to procreate with each other. That's why a chick of any race can throw that coochie on a man in any race, or a man in any race can shoot up the club of a woman of any race. And if it's that right time of the month, if she's ovulating, if them eggs is crackling and they ready to get scrambled, well, no, they ready to get fertilized, not scrambled. If them eggs ready to get fertilized, not scrambled, regardless of the race, he about to put a baby in her. Because we still share all that. We still the same species. So that's another one people try to they mix up. They be like, it's only one race, the human race. No, it's the human species. Within the species of human, there are multiple races. Within those multiple races, there are multiple nationalities. Within those different nationalities, there are a whole bunch of ethnicities. No, you gotta take a driver test tomorrow, though. Zyrax says Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Mongolian, Laotian, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Indian, Tibetan, Hmong, Singaporeans. These fall under nationality and ethnicity, correct? There are nationalities first, but again, within nationalities, like I just said, they have their own ethnic makeup. And by that, I mean common heritage and cultural background rather than biological traits. Because we know, for example, in Japan, right, which is a nationality, within their ethnicity, they have certain rules. They have certain cultural things that are very cool as fuck, that sometimes that we even started kind of practicing here. Like the whole take your shoes off when you walk in. don't wear shoes in the house thing, the bowing, that the strong sense of honor and pride that's displayed and represented in their culture. You know, they used to have this thing back in the day where cats used to take themselves out when they dishonored their family or dishonor and all that kind of stuff. All that shit is is things that comes from their unique ethnicity, their cultural background. So let's do a lighter dive. Now y'all probably sitting there like, there's no way people messed that up. I didn't feel like taking the time or to find the examples, but you know people do. Matter of fact, this is one content creator, right? Funny guy. This kind of off topic, but you know how I do. He walk around asking people, name three countries in North America, some shit like that. A name, yeah. And these all grown adults. And they be like, North America is a country. Or they'll be like, Africa. We all know it's Mexico, United States, and Canada. But these be grown ass adults that probably tell you can't tell me nothing. They talk shit. They probably got degrees. And I'm pretty sure y'all seen those kind of channels where people walked up, you know, how many stars on the flag and how many stripes. And they be like 24 and 7. Some shit like that, you know. Basic common shit. And that's how things get to looking when it comes to the understanding, or should I say, the misunderstanding of race. Now, when it comes to race, they do have different definitions per se. Well, different definitions from different perspectives. You got the biological definition, the sociological definitions, and you got the legal definition of race. And I think that's what confused people up, because they'll be talking about, because the biological definition of race is the historical one. It's the historical use. So they'll be talking about historical things from the past, things about ancestors and things from back in the day, but they're using a sociological definition while referencing the historical things. Or they'll use the legal definition while while talking about the sociological topic. Or they'll lose the biological definition while talking about the legal political aspect of race. Because race does have multiple aspects when it comes to how you're going to address the topic of it. So we're gonna let my co-host my most hated co-host, my MS Best, Chat GPT, break that down a little more concise, clear and concise than what I just said, because there's a lot of words and I'll be up here by myself and I need to let my throat rest sometimes, like other content creators do when the panels got a bunch, people on it, and you get to rest when them niggas like using their big old personalities and being all extra and shit. I seen Hamp not say something for 30 minutes before, until the shit get too out of hand.
The definition of race depends on the context, biological, social, or historical, but generally it refers to a way of categorizing humans based on shared physical traits, ancestry, or perceived genetic differences. Main definitions. 1. Biological, anthropological, historical use. A classification of humans based on inherited physical characteristics such as skin color, facial features, and hair type. Modern science considers this outdated because genetic variation within so-called races is often greater than between them. 2. Sociological modern use. A social construct used to group people based on perceived physical and cultural traits. This view emphasizes that race is created and maintained by society and has real social, political, and economic consequences, even though it doesn't have a strict biological basis. 3. Legal, political. Categories recognized by governments or institutions for census, anti-discrimination laws, and demographic purposes, e.g., Black, white, Asian, etc. Key point: modern genetics shows that all humans belong to the same species, Homo sapiens, and share over 99.9% of their DNA. Race is more about social perception and historical context than distinct biological divisions. Do you want the scientific definition, the social political definition, or the dictionary style definition?
So you heard the more textbook style definition of race. Next up, we're gonna hit up nationality and see what they're talking about.
Dictionary style definition of nationality. 1. Legal political. The status of belonging to a particular nation, typically by birth or naturalization, and recognized under law. Example: she obtained French nationality after living in France for 5 years. 2. Cultural ethnic. A group of people who share a common language, culture, and history, often associated with a specific geographic territory, whether or not they have an independent state. Example: the Kurds are a nationality without an official state. Key points. Nationality is primarily tied to citizenship and legal membership in a nation-state. It can also refer to an ethnic identity when describing a people bound by common heritage even without a state. Would you like me to break down the difference between nationality, race, and ethnicity?
And I think a good example of what they just described, where you can have your nationality without technically having a country per se or something, or whatever, is technically when people be like, first of all, when people be like, I'm Puerto Rican, the Puerto Ricans I know, they say it as if it's a race, right? As we know, they categorically wrong. And if you try to tell them, they might go as far to say Hispanic is their race. They still would be wrong. But they be like, even if they say their nationality is Puerto Rican, if I'm not mistaken, Puerto Rico is technically a part of America. By that, I mean, if you were born in Puerto Rico, you don't even need a passport or anything to come to America. So, yeah. Now, they might be a group that falls under nationality by that second definition it said, where a group of people that share cultural, ethnic stuff and all that, but don't really have an official state, country, whatever. That, because I hate, I don't know. Is Puerto Rico part of America? I think it is. See, I just typed in a very important question. It's education time.
No, Puerto Rico is not a country. Puerto Rico is an unincorporated territory of the United States. This means it is under U.S. sovereignty, but it is not a U.S. state. People born in Puerto Rico are U.S. citizens. Puerto Rico has its own local government and constitution, but is subject to U.S. federal law. It does not have voting representation in the U.S. Congress, and Puerto Ricans cannot vote in U.S. presidential elections unless they live in one of the 50 states or D.C. In short, Puerto Rico is a territory, not an independent country.
Bam. So, again, stuff like that, common confusion. I, it's God knows how many people walking around being like, I'm Puerto Rican. Huh? Yeah, I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. First of all, that's not a race. And also, it's not even a nationality. What are we talking about here, right? Like Puerto Rico is the perfect example of how people confuse and discombobulate and mess this stuff up all in one fucking. You just take that one example and you can pretty much cover all the fuckery that's involved when people are messing up nationality, race, and ethnicity. But here goes something for you. Now, some people be like, ask what race they are. I'm Hispanic.
No, Hispanic is not a race. Hispanic is considered an ethnicity, not a racial category. It refers to people with cultural ties to Spanish-speaking countries, primarily in Latin America and Spain. Hispanics can belong to any race: white, black, indigenous, Asian, mixed, etc. For example, a black Cuban, a white Argentine, and a mestizo Mexican can all be considered Hispanic. The U.S. Census treats Hispanic Latino as an ethnicity and asks a separate question about race. So, Hispanic describes cultural linguistic heritage, not biological or physical racial traits.
Like I said, people that consider themselves Hispanic, that are fair skinned with sharp features and straight hair, sometimes even blonde hair and blue eyes, they go under Caucasian, Caucasoid. It probably burns them up sometimes, but it is what it is. In Texas, you might get a little slide on it, but And like I said before, I was taught only there being three races. But with further research, there's five. The three I know about still exists. I don't know when they add these other two, but we're gonna learn some today and look up these other two and see what they consist of and what makes those a race. So some people might learn that there's only three races today. Well, they said it's five, but a lot of people didn't know about that. When it was only three, a lot of people didn't know that that was the case. Because again, because of this confusion of race, nationality, and ethnicity. But over here today, we're gonna learn. We're gonna break it down, cause that's why we're here. That's the name of the show. That's the name of the title. So again, I was already familiar with Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid, but now I see on this list Australoid and Capoid. I don't know. Now one of I don't know how you say it. I don't know what either one of those are. But after we play this breakdown of the simple question, what are the races of human? We're going to find out exactly what that Australoid and Capoid is, because I'm curious and I like to learn new things. Again, what I say about cultivating yourself, building a better you, learn something that you didn't know that day, that you didn't know yesterday, learn it today. And that's a form of self-improvement. So if y'all didn't know what y'all about to hear now, guess what? You have improved yourself just like that. You're welcome. All right, let's get to it. Yeah, and I'm sorry, like, this ain't one of those race shows that y'all used to. Cause now if I had like some super blackety black guy, basically if it was an arguing show, I know to get the blood going. But this is information over here. This is informative. We come here to learn something. Talk a little shit, stimulate your mind. It's enough trash TV and trash YouTube to go on forever. If you ever need a break from it, you can come over here and we can do that.
There are two main ways people talk about races of humans: biological, scientific, and social cultural, sociological. 1. Scientific, biological view. Modern genetics shows that all humans are 99.9% genetically the same, so race is not a strict biological category. Scientists often use the term ancestry or population groups instead of race. Historically, anthropologists grouped humans into a few broad categories based on physical traits and geographic origin, such as Caucasoid, Caucasian, Europe, North Africa, Western Central South Asia; Negroid, African, Sub-Saharan Africa; Mongoloid, Asian, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Indigenous Americas; Australoid, Indigenous Australians, Melanesians; Capoid, Khoisan people of Southern Africa. These classifications are now considered outdated and overly simplistic. Social cultural view. In modern society, race is more of a social construct based on shared physical traits, ancestry, and cultural perceptions. Common racial categories used in the U.S. Census, for example, are white, Black or African American, Asian, American Indian or Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, some other race, often used for mixed backgrounds. Key point: scientifically, there is one human species, Homo sapiens, and race has no strict biological definition. Socially, race is used as a way to group people based on ancestry and physical features, but the categories vary by country and culture. Would you
So as you saw, you had your scientific biological view and you had your social culture view. And then, as they said, these classifications are now considered outdated and oversimplistic. But my personal opinion is I don't think so, because it's not outdated and oversimplistic. The way things people do now are too complicated, and that's why the confusion comes, because everything want to be all inclusive and based on feelings and how it made people feel, instead of something like science in the biological view. And that's why so many people are uninformed and get confused, because people will be talking about, like I said, scientific, historical, and biological stuff, but then they only familiar with the social construct definitions of race. But when you're trying to talk about stuff, you can't use this. You're gonna sound uninformed if you using the modern definition of race while talking about science or historical things. You also gonna sound you you won't sound as bad if you're using the science and biological definitions while talking about current things than you would using the social definitions and you talking about science, biological things in history. And often when these conversations made, they go they be talking about, back in the day in Africa and the first people and the different the races of Jews and the black man and the tribes of Israel and you know how those things get. I say if you're trying to have a formal educational type conversation, informative, stick with the scientific and biological view, because the opinion of this says it's oversimplistic, but sometimes the simplest answer is the right, best, more effective answer. The more convoluted and complicated you make things, the easier it is for things to get misconstrued, if you know what I'm saying. The average citizen is a moron. Throwing a bunch of, that's why the science and biological view, I think, is the most effective, because using the modern social construct view, it leaves too much wiggle room and too much for opinion and personal belief and upbringing and all that kind of stuff on it. And that's when you get people saying, I'm a Mexican as their race, because they just strongly feel that shit and they embrace Mexican culture because their granddaddy from there and their granddaddy look like them. And when you don't base when you go off, like you said, in modern society, race is more of a social construct. I don't believe that things change. We like to change things, but they don't change. And let me see what I tell y'all what I say about that. Race, scientific and biological view, don't just disappear because as time progressed, we started playing with words more and molded things to create narratives to make people more comfortable. And just because we say something is a social construct doesn't make it that. Also, I don't remember some kind of societal formal agreement of of agreeing that a lot of the things that people like to say is a social construct. Who agreed to that shit? Who agreed to that shit? Because to say race is a social construct is to is to um is to deny that there isn't some clearly biological differences between Caucasoids, Mongoloids, and Negroids. I never seen a full Asian person with the nationality of Chinese, or a full Asian person with the nationality of Japanese, with skin like mine, a nose like mine, eyes like mine, and hair texture like mine. Straight up. In most cases, they don't even be built like a lot of brothers, stature wise. The whole idea of saying something is a social construct is down near a whole show itself, because that's just a way of not standing on anything. If you ever want to like invalidate some shit, you just be like, that's just a social construct. Some things are just locked in. So let's see let's just see. You know, I don't agree with this shit, but let's just see what's going on right here with this social construct shit. Since we
A social construct is something that exists and has meaning because people in a society agree it does, not because it's a natural or biological fact. Key points. It's created and maintained through shared beliefs, culture, and social interactions. If society stopped recognizing it, the concept would lose its meaning. Examples: money, gender roles, race, marriage, borders, laws. Simple example: a $100 bill is just paper. It only has value because society agrees it does. That makes money a social construct. Race works the same way. The idea of grouping humans into races is based on society's classification systems, not strict biology. Not all social constructs are fake. They are real in their effects. For example, race is a social construct, but racism and inequality have real impacts on people's lives. Would you like me to give examples of social constructs versus...
So again, race historically has been biological, but again, as time progressed, it's certain things that human society couldn't handle, and the people couldn't handle. So they redefined and made it into this social construct shit. So you gotta watch out for that. There are biological and physical differences with the races. Between Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid, there are clear physical, visual, biological differences. Yes, our genetics is 99.9% the same because we're the same species. But we have physical and biological differences because we different races. There is noses and head shapes that would be on a black person that you ain't gonna never see on an Asian person. A mongoloid. You're just not. You're just not gonna see those features. You just physically, biologically, just not gonna happen. So that's not some social construct shit. If it was a social construct, you wouldn't be able to look at me and just tell I'm from Negroid. I'm a Negroid. Race wise, I'm a Negroid. You can look at it. Between the color of my skin and these fucking lips, what's social construct about this? You can look at someone with blonde hair and blue eyes and pale skin and be like, they're Caucasoid. You can look at Jackie Chan and tell he's a Mongoloid. What's social construct about that? It's clear physical and biological things that easily identify that shit. Now, you won't be able to look at them and tell their nationality or ethnicity, but the race, yes. I rarely had a problem looking at somebody and telling their race. Have you? Oh, hell no. Now, I can't look at you and tell your nationality or your ethnicity, but I can look at a person and tell their race. Therefore, it is not a social construct. It's not made up when you can look and tell someone's race. Keyword race. Not nationality, not ethnicity, their race. But again, in this world now, everything's a social construct. But that's not a big surprise when we live in a world where people have a difficulty telling you, defining what is a woman. Oh my God. When people don't understand how many sexes it is, how many genders it is, things of that nature. I can just say it just like this. No matter how you try to flip it or flop it, in the human species, all the sex that's ever been had was done with one or two of the same sexes, per se. A man or a woman was involved in the sex some kind of way. Either man, woman, or woman. But in the human species, it ain't no third option, no fourth option, no fifth option in that intercourse. It's man and woman. Now you can mix it up however you like. That's your fucking preference. But it's going to be man, woman. That's it. And the shit's not even rocket science. It's nothing social construct about that. Well, that was the class for today when it comes to the main title topic. I hope people watching this later learn something, understand something, If it wasn't thorough enough for you, let this inspire you to do more research and look into it yourself. Number one, so you can be just more informed in general. Number two, so you won't sound stupid when you're talking about these things and expressing yourself. And number three, just a quest for knowledge. Knowledge is power, you know? A lot of people be like, useless or pointless information and things of that nature. I personally think there's no such thing. Plus, at the same time, with the amount of garbage and trash and brain rot content that we consume on a daily basis around this fucking place, and people want to act like they really concerned about if you got a problem with just researching some stuff like this, but you consuming all this other shit, you part of the problem, and you gonna get everything you deserve in life, or whatever failures come your way. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit and do something that I haven't done in a while. And check out some Black Guru. Shout out to Black Guru, BLKGURU. We're going to do a Black Guru review because it's been a while. So I'm just looking at the backlog now because it seems to be it's been such a while. This got me really grinding. So let's see how far we got to go back. Find a good video that we can do. As I'm looking for this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. It doesn't cost you a penny, nickel, or a dime, and helps the channel the most. Text my wife real quick. All right. Okay. Let me see what we're gonna do here. So we know about the famous deadbeat dad, right? We know about the deadbeat dad, the selfish dad. We know that exists. Just like we know about the violent man, the mentally ill man. They get highlighted constantly. But there's another group of people that don't get addressed properly or enough in the mainstream media. That's why the manosphere in YouTube had to exist, because if it didn't, certain behaviors would go unchecked and not presented to the general public. And that's why these behaviors become so bold. The more you do something and no one calls you out or you get in trouble, the bigger and bolder you get with it. That's why a lot of bank robbers they'll rob a bank, get away with it. Rob a bank, get away with it. And then they just keep robbing. Next thing you know, they on 13 banks in. And people like, yo, why you ain't just stop? You robbed all these banks. You got away with it. They didn't even know who you are. You had enough money to start a legitimate business and just fade into the shadows. Nope. They not getting caught, not getting any consequences. So they just start doing more and more, bigger and better. And that's what happens when it comes to a lot of bad things that humans do in general, and a lot of things that women do, but society don't look at them. For example, a broke woman ain't seen the same as a broke man. Women don't really even identify with broke per se. Often, in most cases, they don't identify with a lot of negative characteristics. But we finna look at something that I think this chick is a female loser in a bum. And based on the title, it says she abandoned her kids to be free and travel. This happened more than you think. But if a man did anything close to this, it'd be the worst shit ever in the world. But often, when women do things like this, it's considered she just trying to live her life. She did what's best for the kids because she knew she couldn't provide for them the way she needed to, or it's gonna get explained off some kind of way. By the way, got a news alert. Prayers up to Deion Sanders, prime time. I just saw he was. I knew he was sick and he was going through something, but he. I think today he underwent surgery to remove his bladder. Because it had he was battling bladder cancer. So he had cancer on his bladder. He had bladder cancer. And he got his bladder removed today to get the cancer out of his body. It's good that it was on his bladder. It didn't spread anywhere else because you can remove the bladder, I think, and for the most part, be okay without one. And lucky it didn't spread to other more needed or important organs. So salute to Dion. Prime time. Wishing him a speedy recovery. But let's get to this Black Guru video. Yeah, I guess this is just one of these music and text videos. I don't know if she's gonna say anything, but we just gonna find out.
Yes, you are reading this correctly, and no, it's not a joke, folks. She says she gave up custody of her kids to spend more weekends like this. And from what I saw so far, she have two children. I don't know if she has more, but she admits to having two children, and I believe they're on her profile. Wait till y'all see what the comment section have to say. Before we look at the comment section, let's see what she had to say about why she gave up custody. She said she was, one, emotionally checked out, two, carried the emotional labor and the kids alone, three, he always said he could do it better, so I let him. Four, I lost myself in motherhood and needed to find me again. Five, kids don't need a broken mom trying to fake it. Six, the court didn't take my kids. I don't know why that's a reason. She says, I handed them over like this. Seven, I still get visitations. I just don't show up. Eight, child support is cheaper than therapy. Nine, he has a stable girlfriend now. She can handle PTA meetings. And 10, I'm finally sleeping through the night. And honestly, I feel alive again. Now, I want you to understand something. On most of her
Lord. Lord, 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 Lord. Deadbeat.
Emotional damage.
videos, she described herself as a 32-year-old stay-at-home mom. Yes, 32-year-old. Don't ask me how she's a stay-at-home mom. I don't know how she's a stay-at-home mom. But y'all know the women of old used to be able to handle 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus children while the man, the husband, was going to work all day. These jokers can't even handle one or two. And here she says she wants to get rich off of social media, not famous. What does that even mean? Who knows? She probably don't want to deal with the mental part of it because she knows she's already mentally going crazy and she wants to just get some money.
This woman is gutter trash, people. Gutter trash. It's no. I can't wait till you get to the comments. Because I already have an idea of some of the things that's going to be said. She did what best for the kids. She got to protect herself and all that kind of stuff, right? Excuse me. But let a man be like, this woman is crazy. She disturbing my peace. I can't focus. I can't afford these kids. My mental health, blah, blah, blah. So I just finna disconnect from her and these children and go do my thing because I'm going nuts around here just dealing with this whole situation. So fuck all y'all, I'm out. Nobody wants to fucking hear that at all. At all.
What the hell?
But let's see what's going on. Let's get into it. I got to see these comments. I really do.
To get rich.
I just wanted to let you ladies know that not wanting something for yourself anymore is a good enough reason to move forward. I'm in the process of trying to get my mind right so that I can just move forward and get my own place because things are just not working around here. So if you want to follow along my journey and support me on my road.
My goodness, lady, you look a lot older than 32. Other than that, folks, I want y'all to take note of this. I don't believe she's 32. You know, I just don't. I'm looking at her real good right now. I don't believe
She 32. She just sloppy and let herself go. She 32, but when you let yourself go and get sloppy, you're going to look 5 to 10 years older easily. You know? Straight, it's just simple as that. That's why I'm 46, finna be 47. But you can go to my IG now and see I'm in shape. And people, when I'm out in public, I'll always be shocked and appalled that I'm down near 50. Because it's guys that's 15 to 20 years younger than me walking around here with big old beer bellies and unk bellies and all that kind of shit. And I'm in shape. Because being in shape would take years off what you look like, and of course you feel more physically healthy, especially since my hair nappy right now because I ain't got my brush, but especially since I got my hair and I don't dye it, it's not grayed out, and I only get gray in this area of my beard, and right now it's low so you can't even see it. So it's like, so my point is that I think she's 32, but she's that let herself go sloppy 32, because I seen chicks that was 20 something that look 10 years older because they got the body of a woman that's 30 something.
this woman 32 years old. But, you know, let's just go with that. Let's say she is 32 years old. Lady, stay at home mom routine Stay at home mom, 32 years old with no man. How in the hell are you making money?
Go to 10,000 followers so that I can get into the creator reward program.
And she's a TikTok creator. She's not even on the creator reward program. She only have 10,000 followers.
I would greatly appreciate it. So this is just a basic breakfast for my 3-year-old. He really doesn't like to eat different things for breakfast. My 6-year-old.
These jokers get all kind of subsidy and different money and thing. And look at her.
Honestly, he just eats cereal for breakfast. On for part 2 because I do want to go more into detail about some of the things that I have going.
Just digging all in your ear. You gonna wash your hands before you touch whatever food again?
On.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. He giving her ass the blues with her little nasty self.
And just be more transparent. So go ahead and give me a follow. Thank you.
I'll fast forward. All she did was slice up a strawberry or something, and now she unloading the dishwasher. This is your morning routine? This is your morning routine?
Listen, she just looks lazy and sorry and like a sloth and slow. One thing I can't stand is sloppy, slow moving looking people. You know, I believe in moving with a sense of purpose in everything you fucking do and just going ahead and getting shit done. And she actually looks like she's a slow drag type person. But she's a light skinned chick that look like she got a big butt. She's not particularly unattractive, and she probably used to be real fine back in the day, and some probably fell for it and put a couple babies in her, and he put a baby into a lazy do nothing bum. Yo, fellas, chapter 10 in my book, Truth and Reality: Undefeated the Gender War, available on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, audiobook format. Chapter 10, The Meat Principle, Protecting Your Mind, Energy, Assets, and Time. Fellas, you got to protect your meat. Protect your meat, your mind, your energy, your assets, and your time. Obviously, it's an acronym. You got to protect your meat. You got to protect your mind, your energy, assets, and time from women like this. You know, you put a baby into a do nothing woman, your meat is jeopardized in so many ways. It's ridiculous.
She goes shopping at the grocery store. She got some eggs in there, bunch of oil, so she fries up a whole bunch of stuff. Got some apples, grapes, bananas. Okay, at least she has a little bit of vegetables in there. I'll give her that. All those chips and things, but there has to be more than this. That's all you feeding your kids is some chips, a few eggs, and a few fruit. And she's over here talking about she never going back to a 9 to 5, traveling, I guess. Who knows who she's traveling with? Look like another woman. You know, and as I'm just going through her content, her profile, you know, it sounds like she talked with a little soft voice and all that, you know. Don't look like she's super stressed out. Why in the hell are you giving up full custody of your children? She cited mental as one of the reasons. If you're mentally going through all this, you ain't showing no signs of it on your profile. I think you just wanted to get these dang kids up so you can go travel or find a different way to live. But I want to know if you're getting that Section 8, whatever kind of subsidy you're getting for housing, how are you going to pay for housing now? How are you going to travel? Sometimes these jokers just think that, oh, I'll just build up a social media profile and get paid off of that, and I'll use that to travel the world. These are some ignorant jokers. All right, let's get to the comment section and see what the women, of course, had to say about her giving up her kids. Not hurting no one but the kids. As a mother, you get together for them because they didn't ask to be in y'all, laid down and had them, and once they get here, all of a sudden you can't do it. It's true, some women don't deserve to be a mother. And yes, I'm judging At the end, your kids got to see this. Yeah, let's normalize not causing trauma in children. Let's not normalize abandoning our children. I hope they don't end up growing up with abandonment issues and resentment towards you. Why not visit them? Just curious. Because when it's vice versa, nobody says nothing, as you should. Good for you. Do what's best. Although as tired and unavailable as I am, I can't see myself doing that. Those kids are literally my life. I always said that if I ever divorced, I'd leave the same way I came, childless. We listen and we don't judge. Not showing up for visitations is wild. You know what? Hell yeah. Definitely not judging at all. I totally understand. It's time to allow the other parent to parent full time. Oh, what? Never. I would never. You're their mom. It's your responsibility to get better and not hurt them to show up for visits. Everything else cool. Sometimes I wish I was strong enough to do this and not feel any guilt for doing it. Being a single mom is indeed mentally and emotionally draining. Tired of always having to be strong, that's for sure. What say you? Do you think she's 32? And do you think she made the right decision by giving up her children to whoever the father is, and so she can go and travel the world and be free and get her mind right and all that? In all honesty, I rather.
Funny thing is, she probably gave him hell, kicked, fought, and demanded to get the kids on the front end. Because she said it herself. Remember what she said? He always said he can do better anyway. He probably was trying to get his kids. And probably did tell her that. But she's probably, nah, I get my kids. But when sometimes the streets be calling these women, and when the streets is calling, a hoe gonna listen and a hoe gonna answer the calling. With that said, yo, like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Like, subscribe, comment, and please share. This been your boy Unc B Streaming. This is one of those short but sweet ones. But don't forget, I do got a video premiering today. It's the interview I did with DJ Witch Doctor on Not for Humans. It premieres at what time? 6 p.m. It premieres at 6 p.m. Central Time. I already got it set up. You can see the thumbnail. It's the interview. Amazing interview. Me and DJ's Witch Doctor did for my book, Truth and Reality Undefeated. I got it set. It's ready. It's thing. Don't forget to check out the shorts and the other content. I might come back later today, this evening, and do some gaming because it's been a while. Yeah. I definitely got to go to the gym today. Do I got time for some more show? Oh, the title, the video is it's my book is Truth and Reality Undefeated: The Gender War. And I got a video set for premiere 6 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. Central Time. Truth and Reality Undefeated Gender War book review with DJ Witch Doctor and This Is Not for Humans. So check it out. It was a really good interview. We talked about all kinds of things. Went through over chapter in the books. I answered about some questions about certain things. And it was a good interview. It was a good time. So it premieres at 6 p.m. Central Time. I'll be in the chat. So, yeah, just come through and check it out. All content don't have to be live. I plan on doing more pre-recorded content because I think with pre-recorded, you can do more editing. You can break shit down. You can add stuff. You can add a little more spice and spunk to it. And it's still going to be set. All my pre-recorded stuff will be set to premieres and stuff anyway. And when I do pre-recorded, I will be in the chat. So even though it's pre-recorded, there still would be some interactions per se. But definitely plan to do more pre-recorded. I was gonna do another show. I mean, do some more stuff, but I got some respiratory stuff going on, so I gotta go drink some water. I'm just gonna get on out of here and try to prepare for the gym, if I can even go with whatever I got going on. All right, people, take care. Deuces. This has been your boy, been streaming, and I'm out. We're gonna call it a day. Might see y'all later today for some gaming. We shall see.
Stop playing with me, Dre. DJ K.